Readers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Hello, KLRN Radio family. This is Joey Wenzler, a.k.a. the Wenz of Wenz World Radio, right here on KLRN every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Of course, you're hearing this a couple days early. I understand that. But if I were to wait till next Tuesday, I'd be late to the party. And no one wants to be late to the Christmas party. So without further ado, welcome to Wenz World. Folks, spontaneity is what we strive for here in Wenz World, and it's so great to have a random guest. This is truly random because I was in the middle of doing my soliloquy. I can't spell it.
Sorry.
No, I'm glad you showed up. Dana H. Barrett, who has a show on Biz 1190 every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right?
That is correct.
Between 9 and 11.
Yes, also correct.
And that will probably continue into 2017.
It better.
Barring some sort of Armageddon-like event or catastrophe.
It better, Joey Wenzler, or I'm going to have to move into a cardboard box.
Don't do that, because they don't have great insulation. They don't make the cardboard like they used to.
That's true.
What are you thankful for this year?
You know, I think I'm thankful for all the stuff the regular stuff that most people are. I have a great family and a great support network. And, you know, my daughter is doing wonderful in this world and I don't have to worry about her. So I'm thankful for that. And my parents, you know, knock on wood, are all okay. And siblings are good. And so, you know, I'm thankful for all of them just as human beings, but also for our health and, you know, our lives and all of that good stuff. I'm thankful for my little doggy.
What's your doggy's name?
Buster. Oh, Buster.
Perfect name for a dog.
You know, he is named after a character in the TV show Arrested Development, Buster Bluth. Yeah. That might tell you something about my personality for people who know that show.
I love when people name their dogs and cats unhuman-like names. I think when people name their animals after, like, real people, it just gets weird.
Like Nixon.
Yeah, or first names, like, this is my dog, John. Like, no, your dog shouldn't be named after a person where if for some reason you're like, John, get back here. Get in this house right now.
That's true. Someone thinks you're like abusing your husband or whatever. Yeah.
You know, it's just odd to me. So I always love when people give pets, you know, adequate, proper names.
Buster's a little of both.
Yeah.
Because you could be a person named Buster.
Boxer named Buster Douglas.
See, there you go.
Yeah. Buster Brown, what my mom used to call me when I was in trouble.
Buster Brown.
I don't know what
Buster
kind
Brown
of cultural
shoes.
reference.
That was my first job.
What?
Yes, my first job when I was in high school, 14 years old, was working at Buster Brown Shoes.
Tell us about that experience.
That was actually a trip. I had to, climb up those ladders and get the shoe boxes down and measure little kids' feet and all that. I thought I was big time.
Yeah, it is. Do they still use those metal contraptions?
Yeah.
How about
You would
that?
think somebody would modernize that.
Well, I think they sort of have with those Dr. Scholl's insole stand-ups that they have in like Walmart. And
I guess, but
it's really odd to me, though. And they're probably germ cesspools, too, because people take off their shoes and their nasty socks and ugh.
it doesn't take long for any conversation between you and I to devolve into something disgusting. I'm just saying.
That's how we roll here.
A couple of minutes in and we're at germs on your feet.
So how long did you work at Buster Brown Shoes?
Probably a year or something like that.
Then you moved on to corporate America.
And then I did. Well, that was when I was like 14. I needed to make fun money to spend on stuff that my parents wouldn't buy for me, like designer jeans and high-heeled shoes.
This is probably the Z Cavaricci days?
Yes.
Yep.
Gloria Vanderbilt jeans back in the day.
Nice.
Yeah, I wanted those. And my mom was like, nope. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a job.
How many pairs of shoes did it take for you to get those Vanderbilt jeans of yours?
Things were cheaper back then, Joey. We didn't have things like the interwebs and, we had to walk uphill barefoot to school every day in the snow.
It's always funny to me when people talk about their travels to school because apparently every single direction people went was always uphill.
Oh, yeah. Right. It was much harder than what you had to do. My trip was always uphill.
So after Buster Brown, you got your Vanderbilt jeans, then you decided life is complete, but I'm moving on.
I think, I had a couple of other jobs in the high school years. I did the volunteer thing. I was a candy striper at a hospital. Learned right away that was not for me.
Yeah, bedpans are not fun.
Also, turns out can't stand the sight of blood. Kind of a fainter.
Really?
Yeah, a little
bit.
bit.
You pass out when you get needles and stuff?
Yeah. I have to warn every doctor. I'm a little bit of a fainter, so they always have to sit me down and I have to I come prepared with
booze.
Booze is a good idea. I have not tried that. That wasn't really for me, the hospital thing. Don't like the smell of hospitals.
Yeah, Red Cross kind of frowns upon me when I bring the flask into the old blood bus.
Yeah.
When they do their drives, they're like, look, we really don't need you with a BAC level of 10% right now.
Yeah, it doesn't really
be
work.
as sober as possible.
Right.
Which doesn't make it as fun because I feel like if you're giving them something, they should, make concession and allow you to go in there with whatever status you're in.
But if your blood had alcohol in it and it was given to someone, would then they be drunk?
Whoa. Probably because they freeze it, right? Don't they freeze the blood?
I think so, or they certainly refrigerate it. But I would assume they use it as quickly as they can. But yeah, if it's got alcohol in it, maybe some poor person in an ER somewhere.
But isn't that a bonus? I don't know if they're poor or blessed because I think if you're in an ER losing blood, I think that kind of buzz would probably help you through.
Fair
at
point.
Least slightly.
Fair point, Wenzler.
You're one of those people that I see in the hallways that I always wanted to kind of get into the recesses of Dana's mind.
It's a scary place to be.
It might be, but you belong here in Wenz World because this is a scary, scary place to live and visit. No passport required, but an open mind is encouraged because you're going to hear things and experience things that will blow the top off your head. There's more than one talent that makes a show go so smooth every day. So there are a lot of behind-the-scenes people that now is the perfect opportunity for you to kind of give them a little love. Right here. Well,
so I have right now in the studio, I've got Isaac, who's my main producer, and then Tiana Bogino is my assistant producer. But the funny thing is, Isaac is quiet. He's kind of a shy guy. He doesn't love to talk. So for since the day we started, I had Isaac almost from the beginning as my producer. I just put words in his mouth, which is so fun because he says whatever I say he said because you can't hear him.
So he's like a sock puppet.
I kind of say Isaac agrees with me when he really is shaking his head no. I'll be like, Isaac's eating breakfast right now. Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. But no one can see because it's radio.
Right.
And then Tiana Bogino came around a little bit later. She's been with us for about a year now, and she does enjoy a little chit-chat. So we've got her kind of weighing in with the millennial perspective, and she's also doing my social media. So she's tweeting and all of that while we're doing the show.
Everybody's setting resolutions. What are some maybe personal goals that you want to share for 2017? And there's also some goals for as it pertains to your show, The Dana Barrett Show.
Well, I'm going to try to be nicer.
How do you plan on doing that?
It's probably not going to work.
It's tough.
Yeah. It's a goal, but no, I'm kidding. I'm really not going to actually try to be nicer. I'm just going to stick with what I'm doing right now. I don't know. I'm not a big believer in a once a year goal setting kind of thing. I'm sort of a believer in being your best every day and not waiting until January 1 to make resolutions and try to be better. So I'm a big believer in baby steps to everything also. So I'm not a like rip the Band-Aid off and I'm going to now exercise 4 hours a day. Like that's not me. I'm like, I'm going to add 5 minutes to my routine and then maybe I'll add 2 more minutes and then another 5. You know, I'm about baby steps. And so, you know, for the show, more of the same, more sponsors, more great guests. I hope more people mess up because that's just stuff for me to talk about.
Right. Yeah. It's good fodder. Yeah.
Love that.
Of course.
You know, I've done some TV. I'd love to do some more of that. So personally, that's something I'm working towards. I was hosting Atlanta Tech Edge on 11 Alive last year for 6 or 7 months, and I enjoyed television, so I'd like to do some more of that. A lot more speaking events. You know, I'm just more of the same.
Well, for the 10 people in Atlanta that are listening to this right now, 11, it just 13, all-time high here in Wenz World, 13 people. If one of you happens to be a business owner, an entrepreneur, somebody that's interested in being on the Dana Barrett Show, which, by the way, provides tremendous exposure, not only here in Atlanta, but worldwide because of the on-demand platform, SoundCloud, and also the Facebook Live feature that has been enabled over the last couple months.
Yep.
It's a great opportunity. So how could people conceivably reach out to you and possibly get that conversation rolling?
You know, that's a good question, and I don't have a really good way to do that right now. There's a contact me link on my website at danabarrett.com, and people are getting to me that way and through PR people, of course, and all of that. But that's actually interesting that you bring up because I feel like that is a goal I sort of have for 2017. So kind of revamp my website a little bit and make it easier for people to suggest topics, suggest guests. And right now it's sort of there, but not as good as it could be. So I'll work on that in 2017. I also often meet people out. So if I'm at an event, feel free to come up and introduce yourself because I have also brought people on the show after being at an event and meeting somebody and hearing their story. I literally pick people up on the side of the road. Not going to lie. But if I'm in a restaurant and I love the restaurant, I'll call the manager over and ask them to come on the show. If I'm in a great local store, I'll ask them to come on the show. So I am sort of known to be scouting, if you will, everywhere I am.
The hands-on approach.
Oh, I mean, I have a lot of slots. So I'm always looking for great stories. And people will sometimes ask, well, what are you looking for? What kind of guests do you want? And the reality is anybody that has a good story.
Yeah.
That's it. But really, most people in business have some kind of story. I like to call them superhero origin stories.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, there's some great... I had the CMO from the Atlanta Hawks on my show yesterday, and she is a powerhouse.
What is CMO, by the way?
Chief Marketing Officer.
Okay, thank you.
She has an incredible origin story. She literally started by being a ball girl for the Miami Heat, which is where she grew up in Miami. And she just loved basketball. She never played. She was just a huge fan, wanted to be involved as a career, and like took the job for free, of course, of, you know, mopping up sweat on the floor. And here she is, you know, a couple of years later, and she's in the C-suite for the Hawks.
How about that?
Yeah. And she did it when she moved to Atlanta, too. When she was in college, she came to Atlanta for college and was a ball girl for the Atlanta Hawks. And now she's the chief marketing officer. So those are the kind of stories, you know, we like to talk about what the business is doing now and all of that stuff as well. But but I love hearing the how did you get there?
Yeah.
And she just had a great story. So, you know, those are the kind of things that I love. So anybody with those kinds of tales to tell, you know, is welcome.
What are some of the craziest guests you've had? You don't have to say their names, but maybe the experiences.
I'll tell you, the craziest guests I had were the hosts of the West Texas Investors Club on CNBC. So there's a show called West Texas Investors Club TV show on CNBC. It's two guys, and one of them is actually Matthew McConaughey's brother. So Butch McConaughey.
All right.
Yeah. And they came in and they were waiting in the lobby, first of all, in our very quiet, staid lobby that we have here.
At 9 a.m.
Yeah. Well, they were here for the 10 o'clock hour. So they were waiting at about 9:30, drinking beer.
Nice.
Well, one of the two. The other
be.
guy, it's Rooster McConaughey, and Butch is the other guy. Sorry, I got that messed up. Rooster McConaughey. What great name, right?
Right.
He, by the way, his child is named Miller Lite McConaughey. No joke. That's true. And he's out there with a cigar hanging out of his mouth, not lit, but hanging out of his mouth, and literally drinking Miller Lite, that's his beer, at 9:30 in the morning. And our lovely receptionist here in the building, who is just so sweet and quiet and did not know what to do. Apparently the entire office, unbeknownst to me because I was on the air, apparently the entire office got into a tizzy. Nobody knew who these guys were. They were freaking out, running around. There's guys in the lobby drinking and they're smoking, and it was like everybody was freaking out. They come on the air, hilarious. I mean, just Hilarious. At one point, Rooster McConaughey starts patting his pockets like he's looking for a light. You know how when you're looking for your lighter or your matches?
Yeah.
Starts patting his pockets, and he's got the cigar hanging out of his mouth. And I'm looking at him like, is he really going to light up in the middle of my studio? So I said, on air, I said, what you looking for, Rooster? And he was like, oh, I'm just looking for my dip. And he got his dip out and had a little dip on the show.
Well, we have just recently added a Biz 1190 spittoon to the studio. So
in honor of Rooster McConaughey.
Yeah, if you happen to be into the chewable tobacco, that's all good here. We have you covered if you end up landing on the Dana Barrett show.
I got to say, though, their show on CNBC is a really great show. They're really good guys. And they just were like, he literally called his driver up in the middle of the show to bring him more beer.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. He's that guy. Like, he's just a character. He's Matthew McConaughey's older brother.
Oh, okay.
I think by a number of years. So he's probably, I don't know how old he is. He's at least in his 50s, maybe his 60s. You know, he's just a character, and he legitimately is that character. He's not making it up for TV.
Yeah.
Like, that's that guy all day long.
And that's the kind of stuff that you can hear on the Dana Barrett show.
Yeah, amazing.
So anything from business to Miller Lite and spittoons. It's the total package. Monday through Friday, always on demand on SoundCloud. Dana, such a good time to have you in Wenz World. We got to do this probably this time next year.
I'll be careful when I'm walking past the door next time.
Thanks for coming.
Right. This is Larry WACHS of the world-famous WACHS Modcast, Atlanta's #1 smartphone radio show on iTunes and Google Play. But that's nothing compared to Wenz World.
My dad's going to be 70 in March. It's crazy.
Yeah.
He was old when he had me. I'm about the same age as he was when he had me with my son. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be 70 when he's 35. I think the world will be over.
How's it going with your new baby? Tell me about this.
It's
This is what we got. This is what that's a big thing in 2016.
I was going to say, yeah, in the Wenz's world, this is.
How are you liking it so far? Was it what I told you or something different?
It's what everybody told me and what everybody didn't tell me.
Well, what is it that you like about it, first of all, being a father?
I like the idea that I'm going to have somebody to carry on the Wenzler name.
What do you don't like about it?
I don't like the inconveniences.
Ah.
That's the truth.
Did you not know they were coming?
No, I knew they were coming.
Did you not know that this kid it's just basically...
his world?
Yeah, you're living in it. You have no choice.
This is truly the Wenz's world, but... Yeah, if people get honest.
What inconveniences, like rank the top 3 inconveniences?
Just waking up in the middle of the night to help them. And
you look like you look a little dazed. I noticed as I'm conversing with you, it's kind of one way. You're like looking off, and I don't know if you even heard. You look like, whatever he's saying, I'm sure it's great. I'll just edit it later and listen to it later. Right now, I can't. I'm thinking about so many things with that kid, that stupid kid. Oh my God, why did I do this? And by the way, you're just learning the truth. Can I just let you off the hook a little bit?
Yeah, please.
Kids suck.
Yeah,
they're
do.
A pain in the ass. They're just a pain in the ass. You have to have them because that's the way the natural law works. You just have to. You have to. But understand that it's not pleasant. The joy comes down the road.
I was going to say
at awards dinners.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Is when he gets that 5th grade diploma.
That's a pain in the ass.
And moves into the higher arts of middle school and socialist high school.
It's when he buys you a house, right?
That'd be nice.
With all the luxuries. That's when it pays off. But right now, you just got to do the groundwork, and the groundwork is tough.
I'm setting the table.
You're building a human from the ground up, and you got to program them.
It's unbelievable.
Right. And you got to know and it's hard to keep a grip on all the incoming sources of information that could steer them wrong. I didn't let my daughter watch television until she was 15. So
good man.
Yeah, we were like Amish with her.
That's really smart. You probably read to her a lot.
Read to her a ton from like when she could sit up on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she started reading at 2, so it was great. She was off to the races. That's the best idea. Spend a lot of time reading to him. First of all, it'll teach him focus and to listen and to sit still, right? He won't be a spaz because he's watched television all his life.
Right.
Yeah, that's my best advice. Like, don't do what everybody else does. Like, you see these spaz kids, they've been raised by television. Don't raise your kid with the television. Don't even let them watch the television. I know a lot of parents say, well, it's a video for him. It's Barney. It's for him. Doesn't matter. The educational experience is diminished with kids passively looking at information.
Right.
It doesn't work. all learning, especially at that age, is experience. You got to let them experience, make mistakes, little ones. Like I let my daughter fall down the steps. She was crawling toward the steps, and it was just like 2 little steps from the. I know you're cringing, but it's 2 little steps from the the dining room until the sunken living room. That's it. It's safe. Not a flight of basement steps.
Like the ones I always trip over at Smith's Old Bar. The ones from the restroom on back up. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so she's crawling to these steps, and I felt compelled to like grab her. I said, you know what, it's 2 steps. What's going to happen? She's not going to break her neck. And all that baby fat is there for a reason. They're like little bubble wrap packages when you get them because God knows that, they're not going to be ready to fend against predators. So
right.
That's the best thing you got to do. And so she went head first over these steps, and she cried. And I picked her up and said, all right. Lesson learned. And by the way, she came to those steps again later in the day. Smart kid. Turned away.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how they learn.
I've read The Very Hungry Caterpillar. That's a classic. And then The Day You Were Born, which gives a God spin on his creation.
Perfect. Get them in all that biblical religious stuff. The God stuff is so important from the get-go. That's the first thing they got to learn. Their relationship to the universe.
Yep.
And if they don't learn that, it's a lost cause.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what facts they learn. Facts don't matter.
Yeah, foundation matters.
Foundation, right. You got to tell them, like, there is a God, so believe, and there's some rules.
Yeah.
And that's the best way. That's what, that's the first thing I would do. That's what I did. And, she's a good kid. She's a good moral kid.
Yeah, we watched the church service, the North Point online, Andy Stanley's deal. We had, we were singing, doing our little praise beforehand and dancing with him so he gets used to hearing good lyrics are so important. Man, music is so important in my life, and I don't want him exposed to the things that I listened to early on that just made me kind of crazy in some ways until I got straightened out. But yeah, I want him listening to good music lyrically.
Yeah, music is just a good vehicle for good ideas.
Exactly.
Or bad ideas.
Yeah. Ideas, period.
It's just like television. But I would stay away from all the television. That's my advice. All the internet, all the television.
That's good advice.
That's it. Internet's advanced class for people.
Yeah.
If you don't have a foundation when you hit the internet,
oh boy,
it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. You're going to be arrested.
Yep. But yeah, just I think the inconveniences of, before I had all this I love me time, playing Madden, working out, doing whatever I wanted, whenever, hey, honey, let's go out to eat. Okay. Now it's like, all right, well, he's too young. We can't take him out. So
guess what? It's a rebirth for you, too.
It is. And it's teaching me how selfish I really am. This kid is revealing how selfish the Wenz truly is. And it's a good thing because I'm learning more about myself and things I need to change.
He's revealing your weaknesses.
Yeah.
As a man.
Yeah. Big time.
But you'll fix them once. They can't be fixed until they're revealed. So
exactly.
That's the good news.
Yeah. So this is good.
Yeah.
The things I love, beside knowing that the Wenzler line shall remain, is the thought of playing with him when he gets older, and when he's starting to look into my eyes and he's starting to smile, so he's starting to become more human, which is great.
It's good to be needed.
Yeah,
it's a good feeling.
I feel a sense of purpose that I didn't have before.
Yeah, you're on the right track. I think you'll do well.
I think so too, and I have a great wife, and she's a nurse and a great mom, and we're not giving him formula, so he's not going to be like one of those weak kids that have all that chemical buildup because of the stuff that Similac puts in their powder.
Oh,
but
that stuff is poison.
It is. It smells terrible. You can tell the truth about something by the way it smells. Mm-hmm. And it smells awful. And
it was like pee.
Yeah, and it made him spit up a lot more, and he was miserable in his diapers. It just wasn't right, and I knew it.
So what's he feeding on now?
Just all natural mama's milk.
Left and right.
Left and right.
All right, cool.
And it's amazing.
Got to rotate.
The all-new Wenz World with the voice of Atlanta traffic.
And the Wenz.
Good afternoon this afternoon. Currently right now, it's 23 degrees on Peachtree Street.
As you guys know, we delved into ye old company Christmas party this last week. And the Wenz got there a tad early, did a little bit of pre-gaming.
You got there early. You texted me like, hey, man, it was like 11:15.
Hey, I was on the way. I was en route.
And you were like, hey, man, we'll save your table. And I'm thinking, dude, you're there early.
Yep. And, I had to save a seat for my boys. Yeah. At Radio Griff and at Atlanta Traffic on Twitter. Join the Wenz from some shenanigans, some holiday fun. festivities and food, all the triple Fs all in one sitting.
Oh, and isn't it just like the old high school cafeteria we go into? I mean, it really is. You got the jocks, the geeks, the trench coat people. Well, it's probably not that bad, but I mean, literally, every year it's almost like in my mind. And I was joking with people at the station before we went over there. Mm-hmm. I said it's like a high school clique in a lunchroom. You've got the sales team; they're going to all sit together. Okay.
Yep.
You've got, the salespeople all sit together. They usually get there early, and they too begin hitting the vino, the Italian water, if you will, quite early. Yeah. They get quite a buzz going there. So God bless them. They work hard. It's a hard job. Wouldn't want it. So you got that, and then you've got the 8th floor team.
You got the 8th floor elites.
The 8th floor elites,
and the billionaires, the 1%ers.
Yeah. Listen, they are a special breed. And,
they stick together. They do.
They did. And then you have the traffic and continuity team that all stick together.
Traffic and is that a slash or a dash? Continuity team.
It could be either.
Traffic reporters of Christmas Past was there?
No. Traffic and continuity being
the black table.
Okay, I didn't want to say it, but
it was. And somebody called it out, and it was true. And I'm very surprised because the rules of Family Feud clearly state if you do choose to buzz in early, you are responsible for answering a question which you may or may not have heard in full.
Listen, it was absolutely painful. That was the worst part. I mean, everything was okay. Our leader, our great general manager here, gave a nice invocation and a nice lead up. It was short and sweet. It was heartfelt. It was great. We had a good meal. And then we had
come the games.
And then come the forced games that it's like, and then we wanted to do cookie decorating. So anyway.
Did I miss the cookie decorating?
Oh, yeah, you missed the cookie decorating.
Well, the Wenz had to come back and record our good friends at Reasons to Believe.
Yeah, it was kind of painful. But let me finish the table description, though. So you had the black table, okay, and Shamso, our fine coworker here, defected. She sat with the elites, the 8th floor elites, and she's good. She's good at that, man. Yep. She went around and she gets in. She gets in with these groups. And then you had our table, which was the cool kids. Okay, we had our cable, and then then
why was I sitting there if it was the cool kids?
Well,
I should have sat at the miscellaneous, the Island of Misfit Toys, which I got moved to later.
The table that I was going to describe as the miscellaneous tables, and there are several. Right, we have our chief engineer and your weekend folks and folks that don't really fit any of the other tables.
Oddballs.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very funny to look around the room and look at the psychology of that Christmas party, and then it's just like, oh, thank you, Jesus, it's over.
Yeah, and strategically, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but I chose a spot close to the bar.
You did, and what I like, too, is that it had a good view of the entire room. Mm-hmm. So you went to the top of the pyramid and looked out toward the, think about it, you're in a backward pyramid, so you're at the top, and you're looking out to the triangle, to the bottom of the triangle. So that's where we were able to look at.
I like to look at it as the cloud of judgment. Matt can just hand out life lessons to all the sinners below.
Did you notice that that Carter got up and closed the doors as the games were starting? I think it was probably for noise abatement, but I swear to God, it looked like it was like, now we're going to have these games. Oh, and it literally, he got up and closed the double doors, and there was no back way out of this room.
There wasn't, and the windows were bolted shut. I already tried that as soon as I got there.
Burglar bars on them, and ladies and gentlemen, and I know people can laugh about this because it is. I mean, really, we never do fully evolve from the high school scars that we get in the lunchroom.
There are many a high school scar.
Many a high school scar. Yeah.
I remember when the buttons on my shirt popped with my ROTC uniform, and I got just
you
nonstop
were a ROTC
ridicule.
Kid?
I was a Drotzi kid, junior ROTC. Because, ROTC's for the collegiate, kids or whatever. But
you were JROTC?
I was AFJROTC, Sprayberry High School.
Did you have to hold the like at football games, like open the gates for people and stuff?
Yeah, we used to get mocked. I mean, which kind of was a good thing because it thickened my skin a tad, even though I'm a super sensitive guy.
You really are sensitive.
I am. And I put on this front of, I don't care what anybody says, but I do. I really do. And I am a people pleaser. And we've discussed this before, Chris, in some capacity, that I do want everybody to like me, which really is just insecurity at its worst.
No, well, I probably 15 years ago, I was still there. And then you get older and you just don't care anymore. It's like, in fact, I take it as a badge of honor that some people don't like me now. So, there's a lot of people that do. There's a lot of people that don't. And,
I like you.
Well, and I like you too.
You get this exclusively here in Wenz World. Chris and I weren't always chums.
No, we had a little bit of a rocky beginning. Okay.
And we had options. And we exercised our option to reconcile.
And we just hugged it out like bros do, man.
And do what the good Lord wants us all to do, which is just be cool.
Well, and it's so much better. How much better? I mean, honestly, not only just you and me, but how much better does it feel if you've got a tense situation with somebody once it's finally over? Once you go apologize, or it's just like this immense weight off your heart and your soul.
Yeah.
And, some people just carry around these grudges and these, for nothing over years. And I just want to forgive and forget. I mean, look, I will say there's been some people that have hurt me very, very badly, that it took a long time and a lot of prayer to be able to forgive that person. But I tried to. So
in light of the holiday season, I think it's the perfect time to apply these things. And I got a little tingle up the spine, which reminds me that it may be time for the ghost of Chris's Christmas. Good job. Okay, so it was Christmas 1987. 1987. I was working at Sears at Cumberland Mall. Wow.
Selling Christmas trees. So me and my buddy went out like right after Thanksgiving, and we were looking for a job. I mean, we were trying to find a job. This is back when Cumberland Mall was, shall we say, a little different than it is now. A little different.
Demographics were a tad different.
We're a little different.
Sure.
Okay, it was back in the 80s. And that was where all the kids hung out from Campbell High School, where I went, at the time. So anyway, went out there and selling Christmas trees. I got the job. And it was just part-time, and, I think I was making $5 an hour or something, to schlep Christmas trees out there, which was fun. But this is a memory of mine that may, it's kind of a fanning the flames of Tinder and a Christmas memory at the same time. So
nice.
I was dating two chicks at the same time that happened to be best friends.
Oh.
So I was up there selling trees one night, and of course, everything was mistletoe and holly, silver bells. I mean, it was all, it was up there, and it was beautiful in the Christmas season. So I had my Husqvarna blower out there.
Well, how does that sound when you... Oh.
So I was blowing out the needles and all the stuff, And so there they both come walking up the aisle of mistletoe and holly toward the voice with the angry look on their face. And I'm like, that is the FML moment of your life right there. It's like, they were confronting me that you're telling us both the same thing.
I hope you seize the opportunity to apply the old law of the menage a trois.
Well, I didn't do that because I wasn't quite that. I was not quite that savvy at the time. But I do remember that I went home that evening. We had a three-way call, 1171. For those of who don't remember how you would instigate a three-way call. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Or star 71. It was $1 per thing if you didn't have subscribed to it.
Yeah.
Man, the phone companies used to just...
Big time.
Lord.
What a racket.
What a racket.
Ma belle.
So anyway, I convinced them that I was so stressed that I was having heart palpitations, and they forgave me.
How about that? Way to use other people's medical issues to your advantage.
Yeah. That makes me a really bad schmuck, doesn't it? Well, I was only like 15, though.
No, yeah, I think at some point, early 20s is when you want to stop using... serious medical conditions to your advantage when you're not actually experiencing
Well, that's probably bad. And one of the memories of that time, too, was I was, since I was at the mall, I would get on my lunch break and I'd be able to do Christmas shopping and go down to the Riches.
Wow.
Riches.
Yes, sir.
And we found these twinkling lights. They were the old-fashioned, they were little miniature lights, but they didn't flash. They twinkled like up and down and all over, and I put them in garland, and we put them around we had one of the big contemporary houses that built in the early 80s, with the 17 levels and lofts and stuff. So we had on all those wood banisters. And I remember how beautiful it was. And bringing home, I still got some of those Riches boxes now from back in the day.
Now, those are collector's items.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure to have you in Wenz World. Thanks so much for your time.
You too, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. At Radio Griff, week 15 is upon us, and my friend, you went to town last week.
Yeah.
Did pretty well, and now the Wenz's lead has been cut to a mere 4 games entering week 15, and I got to be honest with you. I'm sweating a tad. After last
As you
week.
should be.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you were on point. You went 9-7 to my 6-10.
Which 9-7 really isn't that great.
Well,
in reality.
it's above 500.
6-10's bad. 9-7 though, I think my 1-year-old son here with me could do that. I mean, that's going 500. So.
At Junior Radio Griff on Twitter, correct?
Exactly.
Like I said, only 4 games ahead now. 117-93 versus 121-89. But lots of action heading into Week 15. I guess I'll start with this Thursday night game. Rams at the hated Seahawks. What say you?
Yeah, the Jeff Fisher-less Rams finally got fired.
Right?
What in the world? I really didn't think it would happen.
No.
I didn't. I thought maybe they'd keep him around until the new stadium opened even.
Right.
Because, why not?
And after that 2-year contract extension.
Yeah, the guy's guaranteed $7 million or something to do nothing now.
Easiest money ever.
Here's my theory. There's rumors that the Chargers are going to move to L.A. Their coaching staff's pretty bad.
Right.
Why not just hire Jeff Fisher? He's already in L.A.
He's available.
Yeah, why not? Wouldn't that be something? But I think the Rams have a new energy, new passion.
Okay.
Thursday night, crazy things happen on Thursday nights. Seahawks got smoked by the Packers last week. Russell Wilson lately hasn't looked like himself. Something's up with him. I don't know. In Seattle, this would be like the ultimate upset pick of the year, maybe. I'm taking the Los Angeles Rams to beat the Seahawks Thursday night.
Wow. Bold synopsis there at Radio Griff on Twitter. I'm going to go with a safe choice here and choose the Seahawks. They kind of need this win to keep up with the Joneses.
Right.
For that home field advantage, at least to have some home playoff games. I mean, Dallas rolling at 11-2. I got to go with the Hawks at home.
Advantage, the Wenz.
Moving on down the line to the first Saturday game of the year. Thank goodness we're seeing some Saturday football, but this matchup I'm not quite impressed with as Miami travels to the New York/New Jersey Jets.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We finally get a Saturday game, and it's a real not fun matchup. Jets aren't a good team. Dolphins are going to win this game.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to even be close.
Who's playing quarterback for the Jets? Well, also, though, who's playing quarterback for the Dolphins?
Yeah, Tannehill's out.
Is it Matt? Is it Moore or Moreland? Or
Yeah.
I don't know.
One of the long-lost cousins of the what family? The Detmer family.
Detmer family. McCown family.
The McCown/Detmer. I think they intermarried. That family is going to be forever quarterback. Yeah, for sure. Dolphins on the road there.
Both are correct.
The first 1:00 game on Sunday, Green Bay traveling to the rival Chicago Bears, which real quick, this may have some impact on your decision. The coldest recorded game at Chicago Soldier Field since 1965, I believe, at -1 degree at kickoff.
Yeah, I have a buddy who lives in Chicago. He's a big Packers fan, though, and he's going to the game. He's taking his parents. His parents are in town for the holidays, and they currently live in Dubai.
Wow, so they're used to that warm weather.
Right. So they're coming to Chicago, where you said it's going to be ridiculously cold.
Yeah.
So pray for them. But anyways, Packers on a roll, man. I don't like the Packers, but I think they're going to continue rolling along, and they're a dangerous-looking team right now. They look like them old selves.
Yep.
So I'll take the Packers.
Yeah, me too. Aaron Rodgers said it right when he said relax, and he promised a win out, so I got to take him at his word until he proves me wrong. And, Green Bay has a lot to play for right now. They're trying to catch up as well to that Detroit Lions team sitting strong at 9-4. Pack and the Vikings tied at 7-6, with Vikings holding the tiebreaker at this point, so that'll be interesting to see how that NFC North shakes out.
Both are correct.
Now, this game, we both thought the Browns were going to get their first win last week.
Yeah.
This could be the end for Rex Ryan if his hometown Bills lose at 1:00 as the Cleveland trash bags travel. So what say you?
No, I agree with that. If the Bills lose this game, Rex Ryan, it's over. They'll fire him Monday. Ball game,
Right.
He'll be on Fox next year commentating. But that's not going to happen this week, at least. I think he probably still gets let go at the end of the year or in the coming weeks. But I think the Bills are going to take it to the Browns.
I'm going to go with Cleveland. This is my upset special. They have to win one game, and this is the game.
Do they?
That they're going to win. They're not going to go not undefeated, but completely defeated this year. I don't see it, man. They got to win one. So I'm going to take, this is the Wenz's upset special, the Browns on the road at Buffalo. They got to win this one.
Wow.
Advantage, Griffin.
Next matchup, you already know who I'm going to pick. as the Philadelphia Eagles travel to Baltimore to face the Flacco Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens, man. Lately, last week against the Patriots, the score was close, but the game really wasn't close at all if you were watching that game. But I think the Ravens have more to play for. I think they're at home. They're going to rebound this week and win this game. There's rumors. Some people are speculating John Harbaugh, the second better Harbaugh.
Better Harbaugh.
No, the second-ranked Harbaugh behind his great brother Jim. If the Ravens don't make the playoffs or, lose in the first round or something, many people think he could be let go.
Yep.
Which is kind of why he's won a Super Bowl. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, who are you going to get that's better, really? I don't know.
Nobody.
Yeah. Jeff Fisher.
I mean, hey, he's available, folks.
But I think the Ravens will win.
Yeah. I think the Ravens are going to win, but I'm going to pick the Eagles just because, I want to see them win. And there's some funny commentary on Philly sports media this morning as I was on my way to work. They were talking about the best thing that Doug Peterson can do is lose this week. Because a lot of people think that Harbaugh, if he loses this week, will be fired.
Yeah.
And then Doug Peterson, in turn, might be fired and replaced by John Harbaugh. So there's some speculation that there's really good ties between Jeffrey Lurie and John Harbaugh. So strong friendship, kinship, if you will, there. I would love to see him coach in Philly. I'm sorry, Mr. Peterson, you have been replaced officially if you end up winning this game, which is so weird to think about.
I like that theory.
Yep.
Now I want, as a Niners fan, I'll take John Harbaugh instead of Chip Kelly in San Francisco. Can that happen?
It could. Oh, how ironic would that be?
Wouldn't that be wild?
Pass me the PBR. That is some hipster irony right there, for sure.
Advantage Griffin.
Titans, a strong Tennessee Titan team on the road at a winning Kansas City Chiefs.
This is a good game.
Yeah.
And lots of implications in this game. You know what? I think this is... lots of people said last week Titans beating the Broncos was kind of their coming out game.
Yep.
Well, I think they're going to keep on coming out.
Wow.
They're going to go to KC, a notoriously tough place to play. And I think they're going to beat the Chiefs. Ooh. I like the Titans.
Wow. Bold choice, and but also a very intelligent choice at this point in the year. It is, and let me tell you why. Because the Titans in the AFC South at 7-6, technically tied record-wise with the Texans. Obviously, the Texans own that tiebreaker at this point. But I am going to go with the Chiefs. I think they're rolling. And look, Oakland is right on their heels in the AFC West. And I think the Chiefs know they have to win these home games.
Right.
Especially as Week 17 approaches. So I'm going to go with the Andy Reid Walrus Kansas City team at home.
Advantage Griffin.
Steelers hosting. Oh, pardon me. Actually, the Bengals hosting the Steelers. Another 1 o'clock game. What do you think about this one?
I like the Steelers in this game, man. They're playing for more at this point. Bengals, not a very good football team this year. Can they finally just let Marvin Lewis go on his way? I think it's time. Maybe Jeff Fisher comes in. I don't know.
This is recurring theme here on the show that Jeff Fisher needs a job. It's the holidays, folks.
But he's kind of like, to me, it's like him and Marvin Lewis. I mean, same kind of thing, I guess.
Maybe they could do like the coaching package. Like you get Lewis and Fisher
together,
as a duo.
Two defensive guys, right? Take them. No, I like the Steelers in this game. I think they're going to roll.
Yeah, I don't see a path for the Steelers to lose this game. They have too much to fight for. If they punch this game in, forget about it, because Baltimore's right on their heels at 7-6. Pittsburgh at 8-5 right now. For sure, Steelers win. They're at home.
Both are correct.
Moving on down the line, the freaking amazing Detroit Lions.
Well, they've won like 5 straight.
It's unreal, starting with beating my Eagles. I mean, it's just, it's so ugly. At New York, who also has a lot to play for. This can be a good game as well.
Yeah, this should be a really good game. A couple good 1 o'clock games here.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to do it, man, but I'm going to pick the Giants in this game. I think this is like the Giants team that we saw. It's the Giants team that won 2 Super Bowls.
Wow.
You know, they just kind of sneak up on you, and there they are. Yep. They're like 13-3, and they're going to go to the Super Bowl and beat the Patriots somehow. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it just feels like that again. I don't know. It's in New York, New Jersey. I'll take the Giants.
Dude, you know, I predicted a 5 straight loss effort by the New York Giants, and they have thwarted my plans. My haterade has been consumed, and now it's giving me a tummy ache. I'm going to take the Lions on the road. I think they still have a ton to play for because they do want to get some of those some home games in the postseason.
Advantage Griffin.
Indy on the road taking on the hapless Vikings.
I like the Vikings, or not the Vikings. I don't like the Vikings in this game. I think they're just on. Man, it's hard to believe. We talked about this, I think, last week. But after like 4 or 5 weeks, the Vikings were like a Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah. Sam Bradford, MVP.
Right.
Yeah.
That was literally the talk.
Yep.
And now there's AP might be coming back soon. Maybe this week, maybe next week. I think they're done. Colts, more to play for. I like Andrew Luck. He's the only player on that team, man. He's the only guy on that team. And I think he's going to lead them to victory.
I don't know that I agree with the Colts having more to play for. I mean, I don't even see them technically in the hunt, as the pundits would say. 6-7, third in the AFC South. I'm looking at some of these other AFC second place records. We got an 8-5 team, a 7-6 team, and a 10-3 team. I don't see it happening.
I think they can still win the division, though. They're only a game out. That division's weak.
Technically, you're right. That
division's terrible.
Great point. Houston and Tennessee tied at 7-6.
Right. If they both lose this week, Colts win.
And you did pick your Tennessee Titans to win. So there you have it. It could happen. Anything's possible here in Wenz World. But I'm going to go with the Vikings. I really am. And look, wow. I don't think that they're...
When's the last time they won a game?
Not out. Let's see. They're 2-3 in their last 5.
I guess they did win last week, right?
Yeah, they won last week.
They just don't feel like they've won lately to me. I don't know.
Yeah, they're not the strongest team. They're pretty decent at home, though. 4-2 at home. Not a good road team. 3-4 on the road. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Vikings there.
Advantage Griffin.
Moving on. Speaking of the Texans, let's see here. Jacksonville taking on the Houston #PlayForJJ Texans.
Play for JJ, man. What happened to the Jags? Last year, that offense looked so good.
Yeah.
Allen Robinson, like one of the top 5 receivers.
Yeah, the double Allens, Hearns and Robinson.
Right, and now, like, Robinson, you look at, like, fantasy rankings, he's ranked, like, in the 50s for wide receivers. So what's going on there?
I don't know.
And their coach still hasn't been fired somehow, but I'm sure he will be. I like the Texans in this game, though. It's at home. They are still fighting for their division. I like the Texans.
Yeah, me too. At Junior Radio Griff disagrees tremendously.
That's me.
I think he's going with the Jacksonville Jaguars, if you will. What a ferocious mascot, too. A Jaguar. So much more threatening than a Texan. A Texan. Well, they're armed, so maybe that's not correct. But the teeth are definitely sharper on the Jaguar.
Both are correct.
Nollins on the road at the Floydless Arizona Cardinals. I believe he's still passed out somewhere.
The Cardinals, another one of those disappointing teams this year.
For sure.
I like the Saints going on the road and winning this game. I mean, the Saints, could they still pull off the South? Is it possible?
Looking at the Wenz World standings here, NFC South led by the somehow top team Falcons at 8-5. Tampa Bay technically tied record-wise.
Technically, they're still in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. There could be a 3-way tie at 8-8 if New Orleans wins out. And there again, Carolina could win out. And Tampa, technically, I think the Falcons, don't they play the Bucs at some point?
Right.
At the very end. So they could tie and make things really weird for the intellectual pundits that do all this math crunching.
But I like the Saints no matter what. I like the Saints in this game. I think they're a better team than the Cardinals, at least this year.
Oh, for sure. New Orleans on the road. I'm going to take them as well.
Both are correct.
Your 49ers at the ATL Dirty Bird Falcons.
Colin Kaepernick is in town.
Oh, boy.
Watch out. I think this is, at least in my mind, this is the 49ers Super Bowl game. This is everything right here, at least for me personally. And I think the Niners are going to come into town, just like they did in the NFC Championship a few years ago, or in the whatever round of the playoffs that was a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Falcons were up big. Niners came back and won, led by the great Colin Kaepernick, one of the greatest quarterbacks of our time. I think it's going to happen once again. Falcons might be up early. All these cocky Falcons fans, they'll arrive at 2:30. They'll see their teams winning. And then by 3:30, Colin Kaepernick is going to lead the Niners to victory and put an end to this Falcons season.
Wow.
They're not a good football team. I'm still not buying it. I don't care if it's week 15. Niners are going to win this game on the road in Atlanta.
Well, if you had told me a 1-12 team is facing off against an 8-5 team, I would definitely take the 8-5 team. And I'm still going to take the 8-5 team. The last time Chip Kelly came to the Georgia Dome was last year, Week 1, the Philadelphia Eagles at the Atlanta Falcons. He got embarrassed then, and he's going to get embarrassed again. And I hate to admit that I was wrong, but this Falcons team ends up winning. I don't get it. They destroyed the Rams last week without Mohamed Sanu, without
Rams
Julio
aren't
Jones.
they haven't beat any good football teams.
Granted, the Rams did have Jeff Fisher.
Right,
So
they
I
still
think-
had Jeff Fisher there.
I think that may have been the problem there.
They beat the Packers when the Packers weren't good. They beat the Cardinals when the Cardinals they were never good this year. The Falcons aren't a good football team.
They're
They haven't
definitely
beaten
not.
anybody.
You're right, but I still got to take the Falcons against the Chip Kelly 49ers. They're just that bad this year.
Advantage the Wenz.
Oakland at San Diego. I think we're both going to agree on this one, but go
This
ahead.
should be an easy pick. I'm taking Oakland in this game. Again, more to play for. They're fighting for that division, man. Tough loss to KC last week. Derek Carr.
Yeah, isn't he Derek's brother?
It's Derek and David are brothers.
Yeah.
Derek's on the team, right? He's the current quarterback.
Yeah, Derek.
Derek.
And David does commentary.
Right.
He used to play for the Texans, though, right?
He did. Wasn't he like their first pick
Yeah,
ever?
I think, he was like the first overall quarterback.
Yeah, for that team. Yeah. Anyways, Derek Carr had a bad game last week.
Yeah.
His worst game of the season easily
Rough.
for him. Bad timing, too, playing the Chiefs. But I think they'll bounce back this week. Nice, easy matchup against the Chargers. I like the Raiders.
Well, he kind of has to. I mean, to stay in the AFC West title picture, 2 10-3 teams
Yeah, it's a
there.
must-win game for them, really.
Yeah.
You got to keep winning. That's a tough
exactly.
division.
I mean, and granted, it's on the road, but it's not that far away. Oakland and San Diego. You can
No.
probably walk there if the team bus breaks down.
That's true.
Right? And if you see football players walking down the street, pick them up. Be nice. Be like that commercial where the referee screws the high school team, and it's raining and his car breaks down, and then the family comes by and they're like, move over. It's like a sign of sportsmanship. So be a good sport out there in the country of California and pick up a lost football player.
Both are correct.
Moving on down the line, New England cheating Patriots, alleged cheaters, at the Mile High Denver Broncos. Sorry, I get confused.
No, I like the Patriots in this game, and they looked unreal against the Ravens. So it was supposed to be a tough matchup, right? And Patriots just rolled in that game. I think they're going to go to Denver. Peyton Manning's not the quarterback anymore. That's no longer, who is the quarterback? Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch.
Who cares?
What's going?
Yeah.
That offense isn't very good.
No, not at all.
They lost to the Titans. They couldn't put any points up against the Titans, really, in that game.
Yeah, you're right.
I like the Pats in this game. I think they're going to continue to roll along.
Yeah, I think the Broncos are on that downward slide at 8-5. Only won 2 out of their last 5. So, yeah, I think Denver is going to continue to struggle, and New England shall continue to march as Tom Brady gives Goodell the middle finger extraordinaire. Broncos definitely lose. Patriots win this game. I just can't stand how good the Patriots are. They are literally
If you don't like Tom Brady, you don't like yourself.
I think
Come
I
on.
am a self-hating person.
You are.
He
How can you not respect greatest quarter? I mean, I'm a Niners guy.
Whoa!
Joe
Kaepernick was the greatest quarterback 2 minutes ago.
Of his generation. But Tom Brady might be the greatest of all time.
He's the greatest late-round pick in NFL history.
Well, that's a fact.
I mean,
but even as a Niners guy who's always thought Joe Montana best ever, dude, Brady has, it's been a decade plus that
it's
he's been the
insane.
best.
It really is
He's
insane.
39.
For sure.
And he's still killing it.
He is killing it. I can't, it's all about 2004 when the Eagles got screwed 24-21 because of their cheating, sign-stealing jerks. I'm not bitter. But I take the Patriots on the road for sure.
Both are correct.
This game really interests the Wenz here.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday night's special Reenie as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to Big D to take on dem boys. What say you?
I feel like the Cowboys play every Sunday night game, it seems. They're always on in prime time, at least. You know what?
Uh-oh.
I'm doing it.
Oh, boy!
I think the Bucs are going to go in and take it to them boys, buddy. I think it's going to happen. Because also that kind of falls along with my thing that the Falcons are going to collapse. The Bucs might steal that division still. And I think the more reason I pick this, I want chaos in Dallas. I want half the fans to be wanting Romo back in. I want it just to be a mess.
Mutiny.
I want Jerry Jones. He doesn't know what to do. One day he's like, oh, we might put Tony in one day. Oh, no, Dak's our guy. No one knows what's going on. So if the Bucs go into Dallas, it's going to create chaos. It might be the downfall of the Cowboys.
Wow.
Even
before the playoffs start.
Right. There'll be all this tension going on, and who knows what will happen then. It'll be a big distraction for them. Romo or Dak.
Yep.
And Jameis Winston's going to be the one that causes that. He's going to go to Dallas and going to win this game.
Wow. You know what? I circled the Bucs as well. And not because I think they're the better team, but I believe that, put a man against the wall and see what he's made of. And this team, their defense is just full of headhunters.
Sure.
They hit hard. Jameis Winston is figuring it out. He doesn't have the best offense. The running game is suspect at best. But I definitely think the Bucs have more to play for. Therefore, we'll win on Sunday night. NBC, check your local listings. This one's totally going to be worth it.
Both are wrong.
And now our Monday night special as the struggling, wounded Carolina Panthers take it on the road to somewhat of our nation's capital, playing the Washington Redskins. I wanted to say something about the mascot and how inappropriate it is, but I don't agree with that. I think it's cool that there's an Indian as the mascot.
Yeah,
right?
Who cares? I have some Native American in me, and I'm not offended. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm all for it.
You're wearing a hat right now with an Indian on it.
It literally does. I am, aren't I? No, I don't like the Panthers. I don't like Cam Newton. They're not a good football team. Redskins, a lot to play for still. Whew. I like the Redskins.
I like the Skins at home also.
Yeah.
The NFC East, they have to win this game, especially with that one tie for the Redskins. That could really hurt them. They're 3-2 in their last 5. Not too shabby at home, 4-2 there. I got to go with the Skins. They have a lot more to play for. And Kirk Cousins, I hate to say it, but he is the real deal.
He looks like it. And he's going to get paid this offseason.
He is going to get paid. A Strayer graduate is going to be the richest Strayer graduate ever. One of those off colleges, much like Larry Fitzgerald with Phoenix University. Those two should team up and do some sort of joint university that outshines even Trump U. I for sure think that the Skins shall prevail, as does Prodigy. We're going to have to see how all this pans out. Week 15 here, 4-game lead for yours truly, but let's see how that lead diminishes as Week 16 approaches.
Both are wrong.
Ugh, what an awful Week 15 for yours truly. What is this sorcery? Somehow at Radio Griff goes 12-4 this last week to my 7-9. I, the Wenz, stand here at 128-98. A game behind at Radio Griff on Twitter, 129-97. But Week 16 and 17 have yet to come to fruition, and I believe that I will scratch and claw and bite my way back to defeat at Radio Griff. The NFL is my specialty, and I will not be beaten. Or maybe I will. I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll have the results of Week 16 this time next Tuesday.
Excellent!
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.